Hey guys, I couldn't sleep. Well, I got like maybe a couple hours sleep, but my wife will be going live in about 45 minutes, and I think it's a good opportunity for me to take care of some lightweight stuff. And so let me just share my screen. And so there's these YouTubers, guys, and I'm telling you, I would say ever since Gideon went after Free Grace, Young Don and Gideon after Free Grace. Free Grace has been trending to some certain extent. And so what this means is that like whenever you're suggested on titles of things to go after, a lot of I think a lot what's happening is a lot of people are getting suggestions that they should that's the wrong one, that they should go after Free Grace. And so in reply to my look, guys, this will blow your mind. In reply to my 3-hour long video, okay, wherever I'm running everything on his playlist. You'll see his playlist right here. I went through his entire playlist and transcripts, dealt with his whole entire thing. And you're going to see his response. This is really frustrating. I charted everything purely inductive here. This whole video is an exercise on processing things through a chart. And now what you're about to see is how a person responds to the chart. And I had challenged him to formally debate when he first started attacking Free Grace. He declined, and I said, okay, so we'll engage with you in videos. My panel interacted with them separately. They're autonomous. And then I had time to go through and just interact with his entire video thing. So look at his comments. And I'll fix our thumbnail later on. But look at his comments, guys. This is his claim. 3 hours of content wherever I'm breaking down the chart. The chart that's the basis for, I would say, Reformed sociology. And Reformed in the sense of since the Reformation. I believe it's biblical as well. With Luther saying we're both simultaneously sinner yet saint, that's position and experience if you haven't figured that out yet. Look at this. Look at how he dismisses this, okay? And people do this all the time. And you know what? When they do it, I'm going to call them on it because y'all got to deal with this. Listen what he says. Your entire video fails because you pushed a false conflation I mentioned above. So let's put this in, here it is. Let's start here. It's amazing how an entire false theology can arise from a single false conflation, i.e. that a transformation result from the born-again spirit, that any resultant works are meritorious for salvation. Watch my video and see if I argued anything like that in the video. You're making a false conflation, either out of ignorance or dishonesty. I will give you the benefit of the doubt and say that it's simply out of ignorance. I'm not a Calvinist. Okay, well, fine. You're borrowing from Calvinists. What's your point? I don't believe in individual election, irresistible grace, or divine determinism. Fine. But God's Spirit does act upon believers in a general sense. Yeah, general meaning that you want to cop out, special plead whenever it works for you, in such a way that does not allow us to remain as we were. Well, so the Holy Spirit forces you to grow up. That's what you're meaning. If he doesn't allow us, what do you mean? Or our will itself is transformed. Yeah, your will itself is transformed. Except when you sin. I guess God wasn't strong enough, willing enough to make you willing enough to stop sinning that much. God could transform you, but yet he didn't transform you enough to lead to sinless perfectionism. If God was doing the work that you're claiming that he's doing within you, ontologically to your body and the transformation, it would logically lead to sinless perfectionism. This is a glaring oversight in your two-dimensional chart. He calls it two-dimensional, but it's got 3 columns. So it's 3-dimensional, you know, and I'm sure I could take it up a level. It's the same when talking to all false groups. Look at this, guys. Guilty by association, dismissed. Oh, let's just lump free grace theology into Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormon, cheap grace, and such. Cognitive dissidents won't allow them to see the obvious. I'm glad that this is relatively small and insignificant movement, right? Because he's just chasing the algorithm. So he thinks free grace ain't nothing, you know. And so what I said, I wiped out your entire playlist and you still won't formally debate. You just escalated things even more. And then he says, your entire video fails because you push the false conflation I mentioned above. I would never debate someone who is dishonest. A person would have to renounce the false conflation for even a dialogue in the comments to begin. I guarantee you reduce that chart and all you have left is Catholics and Orthodox. So go ahead, do away with the chart. Come back to Rome. I won't waste any of my time on anyone who tries to push a false conflation like that. That's all for me. All right, well, great. I said then debate that, the chart. I've had over 24 more debates on the topic. Everyone can see that you're running. So this was his best that he had to offer. See, that's the thing. To put it in street language, they're not about that life. They go after free grace because they think it's an easy target. And then they find out that it's not what they're looking for. I mean, it's really frustrating and dishonest. But let's just go to his channel. Look at how he got his bread and butter. 9,000 subscribers. Let's just see what his rise was like on YouTube. Otis videos first. This is the Christian channel that cuts through everything, right? This is what makes Christians hypocrites, not what you think. So let the possibilities of Christ get you excited. He's got nice thumbnails. Is living like this possible? Then why not start today? A Christian reaction to Roe versus Wade being overturned. Arguments against abortion. Why Christians are the least self-righteous people ever. You know, and so the things like this, right? Now, let's click popular. Okay? If the church says this, you instantly know they're false. The whole this thing that YouTube recommends, where you make it ambiguous, so you click on it. So 1.17 thousand views. I told my boss to stop blaspheming God's name. Good title. He's taking a standard. Next time someone says don't force your beliefs on people. 5 Christians YouTube channels you need to unsubscribe from. So he won't debate them. He won't interact with them. Instead, what he does is he does this. You need to subscribe from. All right, my pastor died. Well, that's commendation. I have no problem with that. My pastor told me I wasn't allowed to read my Bible at home with friends. Which pastor? Same pastor? See, this guy's even rebellious from his own church, from what I'm seeing here. The Jehovah's Witnesses came to my door. Here's what happened. I'm blocking these Christian YouTube channels. The worst sin any church can commit. Top 5 recommended Christian channels. So anyway, so you got all this stuff, right? And let's see where free grace starts creeping up, because it's recently been in the algorithm. This avoid Christian channels has been getting him some action, so he's been digging down into that, right? Oh yeah, talk about the Pope. Or let's see. There it is. There we go. Look. The free grace gospel exposed, right? And so let's see what he got. He's got 3,000. Not so great. Nothing compared to those other videos. But he thought, oh, because the algorithm recommended me to get into it and everything, that's what I'll go after. And see, that's where look, if mega churches were honest, you know, but right there, there's a thief on the cross, and then he dealt with escaping the devil. I mean, not escaping goats, I think it was. Not escaping the devil. 5,000 views. Narcissistic pastor. You know. So let's look at his shorts. Popular. Pray pray in this position. You never forget this illustration. Lady was stumped. If the church says this, they're false. he's just offering to be the guru that is going to free you from the deception that is out there, right? In 60 seconds. Never judge unbelievers like this. Stop judging other Christians. And he's angry, right? And, so we keep going. Well, let's see here. God's grace is greater than your sin. Okay, well, that's a good thing. Not sure how he spent it though. All right, so now let's just type in free grace. There he is. 3,000 views, 1.5. And you might think, why are you going after this so early? Well, my approach, okay, maybe you think this is a little bit ambulance chaser, but what most people do whenever they're reacting to videos is they go after the first thing that shows up in the algorithm, okay? I go for the most recent because I don't want the stuff to gain any stream. So go ahead, look. What happens whenever you put in the hashtag or search free grace? What happens? Most recent uploaded. And I'm keeping going through and I'm like, all right. So far you're seeing me and my wife's channel. A few other things. This Sam Shamoon thing. They're even doing the click debate thing. You rarely see any mention of free grace in the video. You just keep going through, right? There's the video I mentioned. Challenging Lion Raw to learn the free grace chart. He didn't want to learn it. Do you live in the UK? There's the one, Renee. There he is right there. The fatal contradiction of the free grace gospel. Yet, I used the chart to show it did not violate the law of non-contradiction. So, let's just keep going. Okay, GS. Of course, Mahler, True Cartel. He's gonna try to make an argument that everybody's free grace. Just like Toronto always argues that people are shields and the Illuminati or whatever. And Mahler always tries to connect everybody to free grace. That's one thing he does. Okay, the conferences have been going on. There he is again, guys. Free grace mockery exposed. All right. There's my debates with Dan Chapa. There's A.K. Richardson using the same thing, going after, making a comparison. Jordan Peterson understands faith better than free grace. Well, A.K., come debate me and find out. Eventually, we'll probably end up debating. But anyway, okay, here's free grace theology is heresy. Every time I see one of these videos, like if I click on this video, look what you'll see underneath the comment. So if you're searching for recent videos and you see something like this, free grace is heresy or something like that, just look at the top of the comment, unless they're hiding the comment, and you'll see a challenge from me. He's got the comments turned off. I always ask people, are you willing to formally debate that? Because they go after free grace like a bunch of bullies. And yet, academically, they don't respond. Okay, Lotus. We're going to find... all right. There's End Time Teacher, right? And his legalism. What he was trying to do. There's a few people that are claiming free grace. I don't know if that's one of them. I think this one. But they're hyper dispensationalists, and so they might have the gospel clear now, but they don't have it clear about the Old Testament. So there's issues there. There's the prepisode for John 15. There's some of our stuff, reactions, all of this. There's Renee. We reacted to that one. So yeah, essentially right now at this moment, there's nothing on the radar to go after that we haven't already hit. Now, if I type in hypergrace, you can get a little bit more action, because you have lordship using hyper grace against free grace, and then you have times whenever they're actually going against free grace. I mean, free grace is going after hyper. So there's my original challenge to them. Here's Stego, a series teaching against true grace, which is all about against hyper grace and all of that stuff. You know, this guy, he's a SDA person. I challenged him to formally debate his free grace legalism stuff, and he says only if you debate in person. Well, if you gotta work, you know, you can't take off of work and go debate. There's our hyper grace war stuff. So you get a little bit more. There's a few in here that I might examine as far as looking at the hyper grace, but also if you go the hashtag route, you get a little bit more. I didn't do it right. So yeah, just click on the hashtag. Click on the hashtag, and there you go. You can see everyone that's put free grace in their hashtag, and there he is, right? And here's Unfriendly Hood, here's GS, here's Bible Line, here's Free Grace Notes, Taylor, Orianto, All Things Theology. Recently, a short that he did that came in my stream, he was attacking free grace. So you know what I did? I said, looks like I'm gonna have to call you out to formally debate, which I already did a long time ago. Same thing with Caldwell Apologetics, Corey Minor, and all of them, whenever they were going after Young Don, whenever he was free grace. So let's just type in free grace here. All right, it just recently came through my stream. I don't know. It's not showing me shorts only. I wish there was a way to do that. But let's see what's popular with him. Anyway, he's on it. He's on notice. Anybody can get it. That's the moral of the story, guys. You come at the free grace, you're gonna find what you're looking for. And so yeah, ultimate lordship, salvation, free grace. So yeah, not many people are using the shorts algorithm. Look, guys, when you search for the tag, this is all my content, guys. And each one of these is a missile sitting in the silo. So all I have to do is put $25 of promotion in it, and it goes wild in the algorithm. You know? See, this is when we're challenging Corey and things like this. It's all here. Now, there's some that hardly ever get any views. You know, your small channel. It's hard to get in the algorithm and all that. But it's all here. It's all here. And they think that they can just come and be a bully towards free grace and think that they're low-hanging fruit, that they're easy because the algorithm suggested and they don't even understand free grace theology. They got another thing coming. Look how many people in the debates have been lied in the wake. And I don't even have my most recent debate uploaded yet. I don't even think SFT has it uploaded yet. All right, now we're getting some other people besides me in here that are using the free grace tag. Of course, you got. So, guys, people don't want to admit it, but free grace. Look, here, do this. Check this out, guys. Type in free grace debates. Watch this, guys. Turgefan, Chris Morrison, Crawford, JD Martin. I don't think JD Martin's been in a debate anytime soon. Seiko Woods, right? I'm going to be debating Sejenis soon. Wilkin. There's Chapa. This guy went after Free Grace. I went after him. I got challenging videos on that. Eli went after JD Martin. Kingdom Theology. I still got to email him, but he went after Free Grace. I interacted with him, challenged him, given all this. Oriental, of course, is going after everything. Dan Chapa. There's Bing right here. Travis Thomas, Church of Christ. They can get it too. There's Jack Smack. Cole Perkins. I'm going to have some interaction with him. We've reacted to his video. That's Roxer stuff. There's Dr. Helms. You go watch these debates and you tell me what view has the greatest explanatory power. And if you think after you've watched these Free Grace debates, just by searching this term, and if you think that you have a better thesis, a better theological position, then set up a formal debate with Standing for Truth Ministries. Or you can go back and forth in these video wars, but don't make a video and then when we address it for like 3 hours, breaking everything down in intensive detail, showing exactly why something's not a law or non-contradiction, and then you just dismiss it by saying it's conflating it. That's not scholarly, and it's not he wants to talk about dishonesty. It's not honest. If you're going to go out there and bark and strut like a big dog, then when the challenge arises, you need to deal with it. Deal with it in the videos. But what it is, he thinks Free Grace is a small and insignificant movement. What that essentially means is that it won't help him grow in the algorithm to constantly engage with it. To make a video dismissing it, yeah, that's one thing. But, you know, to actually engage with it, it don't help with the algorithm. Oh, and heavens forbid if he would debate, then he would have to actually study the position. And then see what happens. He'll get cooked, as the youngsters say nowadays. So this is fair warning, guys. You come after Free Grace, we're going to be on you like ambulance chasers. And we're going to hold you to that standard in a nice way, like you're challenged to a duel. Are you willing to formally debate this? We're going to test your level of investment. How much you're about that life. How much you want to get that paper. How much you want to scrap. How much, you know, however way you want to say it. Because this is the reality. Because the algorithm feeds controversial bully type stuff. And unless you are assertive and unless you challenge people, you don't even have a chance of getting discovered. And so formal debates is an arena where nobody can be used to defeat a position that thinks that they're theologically superior. In other words, David versus Goliath. So bring on your Goliaths. It's just totally frustrating that people constantly attack Free Grace. But Free Grace shows up with academics. Free Grace shows up with consistency. Free Grace shows up with intensity. And it just gets hand waved away. Come on, somebody out there is getting froggy right now. Contact SFT, Standing for Truth. Look, I'll even put the email right here. All you got to do is type in Standing for Truth email. And you'll see it right here. StandingForTruthMinistries.com. You click on it. You can even write down your message. You can say, hey, I would like to formally debate Charles Jennings of the Layman's Seminary because he's talking a big talk about Free Grace or challenging me to do all of that. Don't just try to gain your views and your subscribers in the YouTube algorithm. Actually establish yourself in terms of explanatory power through these formal debates. They can be respectful. They can be a great experience. But you decide, how do you want to take it? Do you just want to slap and run, as SFT always says? Or do you actually want to see what view is true? Which one has the greater explanatory power? And I better go because my wife will be streaming next. God bless, guys. Check out more content.